sticking to the lower mid-70s on Thursday, mid to upper 70s possible on Friday, and a nice weekend. First day of spring is on Sunday, 74, 75 degrees.
Thanks, Anthony. Do you leave on lights or the TV when you sleep? Well, new research suggests that that's not good for your heart. Elise Preston shows us why you may want to shut the blinds when it's time for shut-eye.
We know a good night's sleep is good for our health. Now, new research suggests you should close the blinds and curtains and turn down all the lights before bed.
Do you prefer lights on or lights off?
Lights off. I just think I would sleep better that way.
A new study from Northwestern Medicine shows being exposed to even moderate light during sleep can harm cardiovascular function and increase insulin resistance, which are risk factors for heart disease, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome.
When you're sleeping with the lights on, your heart rate goes up during the entire night while you're sleeping. And then the next day, your glucose measurements showed that more insulin had to be secreted to be able to bring your glucose to a normal level.
Exposure to artificial light during sleep is common. It's estimated up to 40% of people sleep with the TV on or a bedside lamp or light on in the bedroom.
Researchers say get lots of bright light during the day. That can help protect you from some of the light that comes in during the night and improve your sleep through your circadian rhythms.
Dr. Phyllis Z is lead author of the study.
About 2 hours before you actually go to bed, start dimming it down. And then in your room, be aware of the light sources. Be aware of that and try to block that out.
Block outdoor light with blackout shades or eye masks. Keep color in mind. Red or orange light is less stimulating for the brain, so keep white or blue light away from the bed. And if you need a light in the bedroom, make it dim and close to the floor. Dr. Z says if you're able to see things really well in your bedroom, it's probably too light. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Researchers also remind to keep safety in mind with the dark room, especially for those older adults. The war in Ukraine has Americans.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Nice.
Solid imagination.
Get 0.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2022 Toyota Corolla.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Don't lose your cool when it comes to heating this winter. Call Cool Ray Mechanical, the CSRA's most trusted professional technicians, to inspect your furnace. The most important thing for you and your family is to ensure that your furnace is operational, safe, and as energy efficient as possible. Don't wait to turn on the heat, only to discover that it isn't working. With free estimates and 100% satisfaction guarantee, contact Cool Ray Mechanical, your local Rheem Pro partner, for all your home heating needs.
My career is focused on helping the injured because I can relate to that. I don't just sympathize. I know how all it takes is a single second to change your entire life. Being an attorney isn't just a job for me, it's who I am. My name is Fatima Zaidan, and I'm an attorney at the Eichholz Law Firm. I get it. I've been there, and I'm dedicated to fighting for you.
Thursday morning. One more check of that forecast when we come back.
The Live Eye Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services.
Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the appliances you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
There was a sound in the breeze, a song from the trees that whispered through the night. Just an ordinary place, but I held you just in case we travel to the end of time. And I know that I love you. I hear you singing in my mind.
Need long-lasting.
It's the light of the party.
Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the furniture you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Well, check this out. A new study shows that affection from your dogs can really have a health benefit. Patients who spent 10 minutes with a therapy dog in the ER reported less pain than those getting conventional treatment alone. Researchers believe that the dogs can relieve anxiety and depression and offer emotional support, changing how some experience pain there. And you know, they always seem to know when something's wrong because they just come up, at least my dog does, comes up and licks my face when he just knows that I'm upset or having a bad day, I feel like.
Storm's the same way. Storm will just come up to the couch and kind of put his head on it and just be like, what's going on? What's going on? Can I jump on the couch with you and I can help you out that way? And I said, no, you can stay on the floor.
No couch time.
All right, let's talk about that weather. If you're going to be taking the pup out for a walk today as well. Well, much more in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes, Will.
Thanks, Anthony. The Red Cross is starting back up testing blood for COVID antibodies. Is to make sure doctors have every tool to support those recovering from COVID. There's been an increased demand for plasma treatment for COVID. The testing allows them to see which units test high for antibodies following vaccination or infection. Results are available about 1 to 2 weeks after you donate.
We've realized that throughout the pandemic that having access to that information about our personal health is so valuable. And as a blood donor, we're going to make sure that you, just as we always have, you're going to get a mini physical. So you'll be able to see those results of your blood pressure, your hemoglobin levels, and now in addition to your antibody levels as well.
If you'd like to donate, you can head to the Red Cross's website. There is a search tab that lets you put in your zip code to find the nearest location to you. A pair of bills in South Carolina would expand the kinship care program for foster children and give guardians access. Manufacturers in South Carolina are holding a March Madness-style competition to decide what is the coolest thing made in the state. The competition is narrowed down from 175 to 8 items made in the state. It's just such a wide range from boats to SUVs to Girl Scout uniforms. A winner will be announced on March 30th. So that's a pretty wide range, boats, SUVs, and Girl Scouts. They're a pretty cool thing by the state. A nurse is turning what would be trash into artwork. We take a look at how she's showing appreciation to other health workers coming up next. Anthony?
And as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to be back to the 70s and watching the chance for a few showers for tomorrow night. Much more coming up in the full forecast just after the break.
Imagine yourself in a new
74, 75 degrees, Will.
Thanks, Anthony. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's exactly what one artist is doing with discarded vaccine vials. As Foster Gaines shows us, the artist, who's also a retired nurse, created a tribute to healthcare workers.
It's been very dark and very challenging, and yet I think we can find opportunities that come out of the darkness and the obstacles. It's like decorating a Christmas tree. My name is Laura England Weiss, and I am a public health nurse. I've helped with the vaccination effort, Boulder County Health. This is what I call the light of appreciation. There was a lot of darkness and a lot of sadness. I wanted to access the light somehow. I created this out of 271 Moderna vaccine vials. I decided to make this because I really did want to show appreciation for my fellow nurses. I think they like it a lot. You know, they don't get enough pats on the back, and so if I can even just be a part of saying thank you, you know, that feels pretty good. I got to see my grandchild for the first time after getting my vaccine, so back to normal. But, you know, I think we're recognizing now, too, more than ever before, life is very uncertain, and we don't know what's next. Well, I'm glad you like it. Oh, you did. So we all have that in common, and I like to think that we can all kind of come together and at least recognize that we're not all that different. We all want the same things.
Such a creative, it's such a great idea there. What a great gesture. It's cool to see people happy and doing something creative with something that's been pushed for so long. Well, bright orange statues sweeping the National Mall this month.
My hygienist cleans with a round pen. So does my Oral-B. My hygienist personalizes my cleaning. So does my Oral-B.
Oral-B delivers the wow of a professional clean feel every day. When you really need to...
And serving the CSRA since 1986.
It's just another day. You're on the way to work, taking your kids to school, or just out for some fun. And bam, everything changed. Your car is totaled. You can't get proper medical treatment, and the insurance company is giving you the runaround. At the Mike Hostel Law Firm, we do car wrecks. Let's have a conversation.
It's been 2 years and 1 day since Breonna Taylor was killed by a police officer in her home during a botched raid. Today, her family and their attorney, Ben Crump, met with the Department of Justice, asking them to investigate the deadly shooting. Only one of the 3 officers involved was charged in the incident, but earlier this month, a jury acquitted him.
The most important thing is to remember that Breonna didn't deserve this. That she was at home, in her own home, minding her business, when these people kicked in her door and murdered her. For the nation, it's been 2 years and 1 day. For me, I'm trapped in March the 13th, 2020.
2 of the officers involved were fired from the Louisville Police Department. The other retired. In California, firefighters are battling an emergency brush fire. Over 100 firefighters are working from the air and on the ground. Emergency officials say the fire is moving slowly and being fueled by wind. No structures have been burned, no one has gotten hurt, and so far no one needs to evacuate. The cause of the fire is under investigation. It's week 2 now in a teacher strike up in Minneapolis. Public school educators have been out of the classroom now for 5 days. Just last night, school board members said they're committed to reaching an agreement, but still no deal. Educators say they're taking a stand for living wages, competitive salaries, class cap sizes, and mental health resources. Union leaders say the holdup has been on whether the agreement will be temporary or written into a contract.
But once it's in a contract, both parties need to agree to take it out, and that's what's really important. If there's a memorandum of agreement that's temporary and it expires, that means both parties need to agree to continue with that language.
So far, only a class cap size has been agreed on. The board says there is a lack of funding when it comes to getting everyone what they want. March is Women's History Month. Our Washington News Bureau's Nicole Newman has a look at how our nation's capital is celebrating with a host of unique statues of women in STEM.
Visitors to the Smithsonian's museum this month will have a hard time missing these bright orange statues in the garden as well as inside the exhibits. But the eye-catching color isn't the only special thing about these statues.
It's called the If Then She Can exhibit. It boasts the largest collection of female statues ever in one place, with 120 women from 41 states and Puerto Rico. The statues are 3D printed models of living women who are currently excelling in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. Nicole Small, the CEO of Lyda Hill Philanthropies, the exhibit sponsor, says it was created to inspire young girls towards careers in STEM.
If a little girl sees someone who looks like her, then she knows she can go out and change the world.
The bright orange statues were unveiled in the garden of the Smithsonian at the beginning of the month as part of the Smithsonian's Women's Future celebration. The Smithsonian's Rachel Goslins says it's the diversity of the statues that makes the exhibit special.
You really just see the wealth of possibilities that are out there.
The statue of Charleston resident Mary Beth Westmoreland will soon be featured in the Air and Space Museum. Westmoreland began her career as a computer programmer and now serves as the VP of Technology and Brand Protection at Amazon.
She's one of the leading women in tech, and what an amazing role model Mary Beth is for little girls everywhere.
The statues will leave Washington on March 27th, and the exhibit has a virtual tour available at ifthenexhibit.org. In Washington, I'm Nicole Newman.
In 1987, Congress declared March as National Women's History Month. A special presidential speech is issued that honors the extraordinary achievements of women. Well, it turns out Well, when's the last time you were on a roller coaster? Well, if it hasn't been a while, here's the closest we can get you. SeaWorld in San Diego filmed a point-of-view experience on their new ride. They say it is California's tallest, fastest, and longest dive coaster. I am not a fan of roller coasters, so this right here is giving me some massive PTSD from when I was a little kid. I went on Space Mountain as like a 4-year-old. I was forced to, and now I can't stand roller coasters, Anthony.
Oh no, see, I would go on this in a heartbeat. I love roller coasters. I haven't been to an amusement park in years, so
neither have I.
I gotta go to Six Flags.
Me there.
I'll bring you along, Will. We'll get you on something.
Oh man, I put a GoPro on my head. It's gonna be great TV.
Hey, we're gonna flip that around and just get your face reaction the whole time.
That's perfect.
This will be the greatest thing that we've put out on television. All right. Well, hey, if you're gonna be going out to the amusement park are going to be sticking closer to here in Augusta. Great weather for this evening. 66 by about 5 o'clock, cooling into the low 60s by about 7 o'clock. Highs tomorrow afternoon right around 72 degrees. We are going to watch a chance for a few showers, especially as we go through tomorrow night and through the day on Wednesday. A little bit more wider spread there, and some heavier storms going to be a good possibility. Let's go hour by hour through tomorrow morning. That possibility for some scattered clouds, and then the chance for some showers will develop once we get past about 5, 6 o'clock into the evening. Really thinking that's going to be later on into the night through early portions of Wednesday morning. Another round of rain and storms as we get closer to about 10, 11 o'clock in our western counties. That pushes closer to us here in Augusta by about midday. And then another round of storms is going to be a good possibility as we head through Wednesday evening. But fortunately, most of Thursday is going to be staying on the drier side there. Depending on who sees some of those stronger storms, could be talking about closer to an inch, maybe even an inch and a half of rainfall. Then we're going to be sticking to the 70s as we go through the rest of this week. Nice and sunny for the first weekend in spring.
Well, there's growing push to send more aid to Ukraine. We hear from South Carolina representatives on how they're working to help. Coming up next.